The receptionist's tone dripped with skepticism as she gave Sandra Bullock a once-over, clearly unimpressed by the actress's simple attire. Across the lavish hotel lobby, guests sipped champagne, oblivious to the quiet humiliation unfolding at the front desk. Sandra, ever gracious, smiled and remained calm. But just as the tension thickened, the revolving doors swished open, and in walked Keanu Reeves. What happened next left the entire hotel staff stunned, and taught everyone a lesson they would never forget. Chapter 1. The Arrival at the Grand Rosewood Hotel. The Grand Rosewood Hotel was one of the most luxurious hotels in Los Angeles, an oasis of elegance where the world's elite gathered to unwind. Celebrities, billionaires, and dignitaries frequented its marble-floored lobby, its grand chandeliers casting golden light over polished mahogany counters. The hotel prided itself on excellence, both in service and clientele. On this particular evening, Sandra Bullock, the beloved Hollywood actress, entered the hotel with an air of quiet humility. Dressed in casual yet elegant attire, black slacks, a white blouse, and a simple coat, she carried no designer bags, no flashy jewelry, just her usual warm smile. As she approached the front desk, she noticed the receptionist, a young woman named Lauren, glancing her way with an expression of barely concealed disdain. Lauren had been working at the Grand Rosewood for 3 years, and in that time, she had learned to recognize true VIPs from those who only thought they were. To her, Sandra Bullock's simple attire and lack of entourage suggested she wasn't important enough to deserve special treatment. "Good evening," Sandra said politely. "I have a reservation under Bullock." Lauren barely looked up, her fingers lazily tapping at the keyboard. "Aha," she muttered, scrolling through the reservation system. After a few moments, she exhaled dramatically. "I don't see anything under that name." Sandra frowned slightly but remained calm. "That's odd. My assistant booked it a few days ago. Maybe try looking under a different spelling." Lauren smirked. "I don't think spelling is the issue." She gave Sandra a once-over, her expression making it clear she didn't believe she belonged in a place like this. "Are you sure you have a reservation here? This is the Grand Rosewood, ma'am, not a budget hotel." A few guests in the lobby turned their heads at the remark, but Sandra simply smiled, unfazed. "I'm sure. Maybe check under my assistant's name." Lauren sighed heavily and made a show of typing something, though it was clear she wasn't making much effort. At that moment, the revolving doors at the entrance swished open, and in walked Keanu Reeves. The actor, known for his humility and kindness, was dressed in his usual understated style: dark jeans, a plain t-shirt, and a well-worn leather jacket. Despite his casual attire, he exuded an effortless charm that made heads turn. As he walked towards the reception desk, his eyes caught sight of Sandra, and his face immediately broke into a wide smile. "Sandy," Keanu called, his deep voice warm and familiar. Sandra turned, her face lighting up at the sight of her longtime friend. "Keanu. What a nice surprise." Keanu strode over and embraced her warmly. "I didn't know you were in town." Lauren's demeanor instantly shifted. The moment she recognized Keanu Reeves, her posture straightened, and her expression transformed from bored disinterest to professional eagerness. "Mr. Reeves," she gushed, her voice dripping with enthusiasm. "Welcome to the Grand Rosewood. It's such an honor to have you here." Keanu nodded politely before turning his attention back to Sandra. "Everything okay?" Sandra chuckled lightly, shaking her head. "Just a little mix-up with my reservation. No big deal." Lauren's eyes flickered with panic. She had just brushed off Sandra Bullock, the Sandra Bullock, without realizing who she was. Keanu arched an eyebrow at Lauren. "A mix-up? That doesn't sound like the Grand Rosewood's usual service." His voice was calm, but there was a quiet authority in his tone. Lauren's face turned red. Let me check again." She frantically typed into the system, suddenly finding Sandra's reservation within seconds. "Oh, here it is. My apologies, Ms. Bullock." There was a small system glitch. Sandra smiled graciously. No worries. Keanu, however, wasn't done. He looked Lauren in the eye, his usual gentle demeanor carrying an unmistakable hint of disappointment. You know, kindness costs nothing, he said simply. You never know who you're talking to. Everyone deserves respect. Lauren swallowed hard, her previous arrogance crumbling under his quiet rebuke. She nodded quickly. Yes, sir. I understand. Chapter 2. A Lesson in Humility. Sandra checked in smoothly after that, with Lauren tripping over herself to provide excellent service. But Keanu had seen enough to know that the incident hadn't been a simple mistake. It had been a judgment call based on appearance. After settling into their rooms, Keanu and Sandra decided to grab dinner at the hotel's fine dining restaurant. The atmosphere was elegant, filled with the murmur of well-dressed guests clinking glasses of expensive wine. As they enjoyed their meal, a young woman, probably in her early 20s, approached their table hesitantly. She wore a hotel uniform, and her nervous expression suggested she was new to the job. "Excuse me, Mr. Reeves, Ms. Bullock," she said quietly. "I just wanted to say that what happened at the front desk, well, I saw it, and I really admire how you handled it. Some of us here, well, we don't always get treated with respect either. So, thank you." Sandra reached out and gave the young woman's hand a reassuring squeeze. "What's your name?" "Emily," the girl said. "Well, Emily, if you ever need a reminder that kindness matters, just remember that the way you treat others speaks volumes about who you are," Sandra said warmly. Keanu nodded in agreement. "The world could use more people like you, Emily. Keep being kind, no matter what." Emily beamed, her eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you so much." Chapter 3. A Surprise for Lauren. The next morning, as Sandra and Keanu were checking out, they noticed Lauren at the front desk. She was noticeably quieter, no longer carrying herself with the haughty arrogance she had displayed the previous evening. As they walked up, Lauren cleared her throat. "Ms. Bullock, Mr. Reeves, I'm really sorry about last night. I was rude, and I judged unfairly. That was wrong of me." Sandra smiled. "Apology accepted." Keanu studied her for a moment before reaching into his pocket and pulling out a neatly folded bill. He slid it across the counter. Lauren hesitated. "Sir, I don't deserve a tip." Keanu smiled. "It's not a tip. It's a reminder." Lauren unfolded the bill and gasped. Written on it in Keanu's neat handwriting were the words, *, respect costs nothing, but it can mean everything, *. Her eyes welled up with tears as she looked up at him. "I'll never forget this." "I hope not," Keanu said with a wink before turning to Sandra. "Shall we?" As they walked out of the hotel, Sandra nudged him playfully. "You always know just what to say." Keanu grinned. "I just believe in treating people the right way. And sometimes, people just need a little reminder." Sandra looped her arm through his as they stepped into the morning sunlight. "Well, remind me to always stay your friend." Keanu laughed. "Sandy, that's a given." And with that, they walked off, leaving behind a lesson in kindness that would stay with everyone who had witnessed it. A lesson in kindness. Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock's heartwarming encounter. As Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock left the Grand Rosewood Hotel, they had no idea how their actions had impacted those around them. A simple moment of kindness, a quiet stand for respect, had changed perspectives and left an unforgettable lesson. Lauren, the receptionist, stared at the bill Keanu had given her, reading the words over and over. Respect costs nothing, but it can mean everything. She had misjudged Sandra. She had let assumptions cloud her professionalism. And now she had been given a second chance, a chance to do better. Emily, the young hotel worker who had witnessed it all, walked through the lobby with a newfound confidence. Seeing two of the biggest stars in Hollywood treat everyone with kindness had reassured her. Good people still existed. And maybe, just maybe, she could be one of them. As Sandra stepped into her car, she smiled at Keanu. You know, you should really start a class on how to be the world's nicest guy. Keanu chuckled. Nah, I just believe in treating people the way I'd want to be treated. Before she left, Sandra turned back to Lauren, handing her a $100 bill. For Emily. Make sure she gets it. Lauren swallowed hard, nodding. This was more than just money, it was a message. A message that kindness wasn't weakness. That respect wasn't optional. That everyone deserved to be treated with dignity. And as Keanu and Sandra disappeared into the city, their lesson lingered. A reminder that true greatness isn't measured in fame or fortune, but in the way we treat those around us. If this story inspired you, if you believe kindness can change the world, then let's spread the message together. Like this video to show support for treating people with respect. Subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories that remind us of the good in humanity. Comment below. Have you ever experienced or witnessed an unexpected act of kindness? We'd love to hear your story. Together, we can make the world a little brighter, one act of kindness at a time. Blue Heart.